Hello, let's play a bunch of New York Times games, but first we reveal our dad joke of the day. So this is the dad joke for the whole weekend. For Saturday the 17th, have you heard about the new broom? It's sweeping the nation. Okay. And this day in history. January 17th, 1950. Boston thieves pull off historic robbery. On January 17th, 1950, 11 men stole more than $2 million from the Brinks Armored Car Depot in Boston, Massachusetts. Wearing coats and caps like employee uniforms and rubber Halloween masks, the thieves entered the depot with copied keys. Filling 14 bags, the men were in and out after about 30 minutes. They evaded arrest until Joseph Specs O'Keefe made a deal with the FBI to testify against his fellow robbers, and the culprits were caught in January 1956. All right, I got interrupted for quite a while right after the dad joke and the calendars. So we're continuing now. So I'd like to thank the following members for starting a new month. Thank you to Libby Eilbert, Nate Carlock, and JP Sinclair. Thank you very much for your support. All right, let's start with connections. We're finding 4 groups of 4. We've got plaster, sling, hide, blanket, pelt, sink, red, coat, skin, cover, cast, inks, Simon, hurl, kins, and capture. Kins. I know the word kin is like your family, but kins, is that, can you pluralize kin that way, or is this something else? It makes me think it's purple fodder, and I'm seeing the word skin, like an anagram of skin, and then this is skin, and then this is skin. Yeah, so these are all anagrams. Is there a fourth? Inks. They have had anagram categories before. Now, it's not in the first 2 rows, so I'm going to assume it's not the rainbow herring. Maybe we're falling for it, but if, you know what, this could be blue. It doesn't have to be purple, and I'm wearing purple today. So you know what, let's circle this as potentially purple, but then we'll see if there's a more purpley category that we might want instead. And then also keep in mind that it might not be a category. All right, what else do we have here? Plaster. Plaster in the U.S. is almost primarily used as like the stuff, like the wet stuff that you put on like a wall or something and then it dries out. But I do know that other countries use the word plaster to mean like a Band-Aid. So plaster and sling could potentially be like in a cast, like things medical. This is maybe if you like you break your arm or something, like these are things that could be used: plaster, sling, and cast. Now, what would be the fourth? Would it be one of these? I don't think so. Okay. I'm also thinking plaster, pelt, and cover and coat could mean to just, I don't know if pelt is right, but these 3 definitely would mean to completely cover, to surround with a material. So I'm wondering if blanket or pelt would be that. Pelt could go with hurl because that means to throw, and sling means to throw. Okay, so I think that's a category. So actually, let's these are synonyms, but they are they're verb synonyms. So they could be green. We're plastering, we're covering, we're coating, and we're blanketing. And then I do think that maybe yellow. I mean, yellow and green could be swapped here though, because I think they're both verbs. We have pelt and sling and cast and hurl are to throw something. So that leaves hide, red, Simon, and capture. Simon makes me think of Simon Says. I don't think it's that though. It's not like capture says, hide says. Hide could go with Jekyll and Hyde. I do think that means this is a category that I've marked in purple, but I don't know if it's purple or blue. Simon, capture, red, and hide. Are we changing letters? What could we change in Simon though? I don't think there's something to change in Simon. So is it a fill in the blank? Trying to think of a fill in the blank that uses Simon, that other than Simon Says. You know what? Children's games, like playground games, because Simon Says is a playground game. And so is Capture the Flag. And so is Hide and Seek. So then red light, yellow light. I watch a lot of Miss Rachel, and there's a whole video where they play most of these games. The only one they don't play is Capture the Flag. All right. So I think this has to be purple. This is like words from children's playground games. Let's see. First words of kids games. There we go. All right. I think I remember the other ones. So let's just clear out the pen now. So now the anagrams have to be blue, right? Anagrams should be blue. We'll see. Anagrams. Okay. Anagrams is blue. So now the problem is, like, these are very equal categories. I feel like it's 50-50 on which one's green. So I think this one's a bit more slangy. So maybe slang should be green. To pelt, to sling, to curl, to hurl, and to cast. So let's try it. There we go. Throw. Okay. So I got it right. I don't know if I got it right for the reason I got it right, but anyway, and this is to surround, spread over. There we go. All right. Starting a new streak. Cool. Perfect reverse rainbow. Good way to start a new streak. I'm glad I thought about, oh, maybe anagrams isn't purple. And I actually figured out purple, so that's nice. All right. Difficulty-wise, I mean, purple can just happen. That's fine. You don't need to know purple, because the rest of these, like, it's anagrams. And then these are just language questions. A little bit of slang, but not too bad. So I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5, and I think we have a 90% solve rate. That might be too high, but we'll see. That's a sling. All right. Where's the rating? There it is. 2 out of 5 is what they give it. Fresh. 79%. Ooh, that's way lower than the 90 I said. Okay. That's an interesting spread. So there's something a lot of people are making a mistake about, and I wonder what that is. Guess we'll find out. I was 1 in 117. That's pretty low for a reverse rainbow. Wow, look how equal these all are. Like, it's like first for winning games, people are almost equally getting blue, green, or yellow, and that's kind of what I was saying. Is these categories you can just get all three, and then that purple will just happen. This is the same deal here. Yeah, people who lost just didn't get anything. Interesting. I think they at least get the anagrams. All right, 8% got nothing. 3% got just the anagrams. 3% got blue and green, and 3% got green. So it's like equal chances of knowing all three of these, which is kind of interesting. That's why they kind of equaled out even in the failure percentages. Excuse me. So what are people failing on? They're putting hide in. Interesting. With blanket, coat, and cover. Oh, so this is like thinking of them as a noun and going, oh, I've got my blanket to keep me warm. I've got my coat. I've got my cover. And I've got my hide, like an animal hide to keep you warm. And then here's the rainbow herring. Hide, pelt, coat, and skin are all just sort of your epidermis type thing. Okay. So that's the rainbow herring. So I think the one mistake people are making is either this one or this one. Blanket, coat, skin, and cover. Yeah. So again, I think that this is interpreting them as nouns. Same with pelt. So yeah, I can see how people would chase those mistakes quite a bit, chasing mistakes on yellow. All right. Rainbow herring is the most common first lock-in, followed by the anagrams, followed by green and then yellow with purple, with hide, yellow with pelt, and then finally purple at 3%. All right. Well, that's it. How'd you do? Let's do pips for Saturday, January 17th. We'll play the easy, medium, and hard. All right. Well, this domino adds to 8. 4-4 is the only one, I shall assert. 4-6 or 4-3. I don't think we have another one adding to 8. In fact, we have to have a domino like this. So 4 and 4. So if I do this, and then this, and then this, and then we can make the 1 add to 7. All right. That worked out. I didn't even check the lesson 3, but it worked. Okay. Let's do the medium. Ooh, okay. I think it might be helpful to draw out our dominoes on this one as best as we can, and we'll figure out where to go from there. So yeah, the problem is this is just a not equals. Okay, greater than 16. So 17 or higher in 3. If it were all 6s, it would be 18. So our option is 3 6s or 2 6s and a 5. Now I noticed down here that we do not have a 5 in our bank. So this is 3 6s. So the 6 6 is going to go here because that's a forced domino. And then the 6 4 just in some way goes into the not equal. So now we can't put another 4 in the not equal. This has to be less than 4. So we better use up one of our 4s there. What do I have left? Okay, sorry. I have 1, 2, and 3. So I got to do the 2, 3 here, and then the 1, 4 here, and then there's like a gazillion solutions to this. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, there's not that. There's a little bit of freedom to rotate these around, but I feel like the key components are fixed. Just the geometry is not very fixed. All right, let's do the hard. It says bird. Okay. Now we do have a 6 6, so the 6 6 could go there. Let's draw out what we can for the dominoes. So that is forced. Now this loop could go either way, so we're gonna have to think about it. 4 could be all 1s. I'll have to see if we need to use these blanks elsewhere. Well, let's think about these blanks for a second, because blank 6 could easily do this, and then we could do 1 1 2. So yeah, okay. So the blanks are possible there. How about over here? So this is probably the I is the last thing we're gonna do. This has to go like this. This comes down, and then this loop is open. Okay. How many doubles do I have? Double 1, double 2, double 6, double 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 6 are all doubled. Attached to a 6, what do I have that has a double? Because a double is either going to be here or here. That's guaranteed. So attached to a 6, I do have 6, 6. But we're not going to use that there because then we wouldn't have the double for it. Okay, so 6 blank. I don't have enough blanks. All right, 6 3. I do have a double 3. So that's quite viable. And then I have 6 1 and 6 2. All of which are viable. Okay, so that's tough because we could do 6 1 2 or 3 and then finish the 1s 2s or 3s here, and then that's going to connect into here, and we have a let's see, what do we have that transitions to another? We have a 2 3. Okay, and which way do we go? What's attached to a 4? That's another question. Oh, we only have a 4 3. That feels like an in. Now I don't know which way it goes. Okay, one thing I can tell you. Okay, actually we do know the orientation. We can't do this. So if we do this, then we do this, and now we need 2 doubles. So, oh no, undo. Okay, I didn't mean to clear all those out. We are doing this and this. There we go. So now I know the 4 goes into there, and I only have 4 3. So this is forced. And now I can put the 3 3 here. And now I either need a 3 1 or a 3 2. And I do have 3 1, and I do have 3 2. So I don't know if these are 1s or 2s. Let's see if elsewhere we can figure out. You know what? I think I want to put the 4 1s in the 4. I think that's a vibe that we can assert for now. So let's put the 6 2 like this and hope that we're right. The 2 2 here, and then the 3 2 like that. Okay, so that one's done. If this is 1 1 1 1, which we're assuming, I can't do that. Same issue. So I'm going to do this because I'm assuming it's all 1s. We're going to do this. All right. So we're going to put the 1 1 here, and then the 1 6 goes here, the other way. All right. Now this goes 6 into something small. I think the 6 blank is completely reasonable there. And then this is 1 3. And then this would be another blank, maybe? Yeah. Sorry, I thought that was less than 1. I was like, oh, I need a blank down there, but no, I don't. And so now here, this needs to add to 10. 5 5 or 4 6. We don't have a 4. So it's 5 5. So the 5 here and the 5 here. And then now this actually works. Ooh, okay. I feel like I solved that pretty nicely. I think that the logic went really well. So the basic logic was we found the forced geometry on the D. So we had to lay them out this way. And there was only one 4, and that puts the 4 3 to the left. And now this 3 had to go to a 1 or a 2 because we knew that we needed a double here. And so But I also had asserted that the only vibe was 4 and 4 is probably all ones because they love to do that. So knowing that we couldn't do the ones here, so I did the twos here. That freed up the ones here, and then the rest just kind of piled. The rest just kind of completed on its own. All right, very neat. That was a fun one. How'd you do? Let's do the mini crossword for Saturday, January 17th. It's the big one today. Let's play. It's just so, like meh. Impression sunrise painter. I don't know. Ca on the periodic table. Cadmium. City that's famous for its lemon pepper wings. There's a city famous for that. Not Buffalo, is it? Probably not. Okay. Reality show episode in which cast members gather again to bicker. Oh. I don't know enough about reality shows for that. Common wall coverings in a dorm room. Posters. Boxing bout enders for short. TKO. KOs. Got to be plural. Snail, clam, or squid are mollusks. Maybe it's calcium. Is that a U? Mollusk? Mollusk? I don't know. I can change those vowels later. 2021 Disney movie about the hit song We Don't Talk About Bruno. That is Encanto. I like Encanto. Tushes. Heinies. San Blanc. City between San Francisco and Palo Alto. Between San Francisco and Palo Alto. Medeo? Maybe? Private teacher. A tutor? Monet is an artist. Okay. Complain. Maybe I can get these acrosses now. City. Oh, this should be a T. I think this is Atlanta. Maybe it's Mateo. Reality show. Complain. To carp, maybe? Oh, a reunite. Dogs are a man's best friend. Oh, okay. I messed up tutor. That's all that happened. Reunion. There we go. Yeah, when I typed tutor, I like offset the letters or something. I used the correct vowels for mollusk. I'm very proud of myself for that. I'm horrible at spelling. All right. Yeah, I put cadmium here. I put buffalo here. I knew that they were that in my head. I was like, I'm probably gonna have to change those, and so I wasn't too surprised. All right. Well, how'd you do? Let's do strands. Today's theme is that's putting it mildly. So if we take that literally, it's like we're overdoing it. We're underdoing it. But mild also makes me think of salsa. Or spicy level. So we'll see. Ratniff. I don't know what kind of word we're looking for, which is a problem. Putting it mildly. Are we talking about gossip even, or Sessa? I don't know where to get started. I see fiddle. I see fiddles. Nope. Why is that there? I don't know. It's just there. I see stick and I see sticks. Nope. Fiddlesticks. Oh, they're mild oaths. But in crosswords, they call them mild oaths. Like darn. Is darn here? Maybe. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Drat. So is it mild oaths? Is that our... But mild is in the theme. Okay, I don't know what this manogram's going to be, but at least I know what I'm looking for. Egads? Egad? Isn't it double E or something? I don't know. Rats. Problem is, I don't really know what we're looking for here. There's so many mild oaths. What are some like obvious ones? I said darn. How about heck? Or things like fiddlesticks is probably what we're looking for. Darn it. I'm like not able to really think of giant. That says gaint though. Ain't. Doesn't even accept ain't as a word. I guess because it's a contraction. I ain't gonna say ain't because ain't a word. Point. I mean, there's words here, but so our spanagram goes top to bottom or bottom to top. Let's see if we can find it. I can't. It would help a lot because it would split up our letters. Tune. Is oath here? I don't see oath. I think this is the only H and there's no T next to it. So there's no oath here. Curse. Maybe curses is, yeah, okay. So foiled is part of our spanagram. Has to be. Foiled. Let me just click it in. Foiled. Point. Foiled again. Foiled again. I've been foiled again. All right, that wouldn't have actually split anything up. Okay. We got two more words. I used point already, and it wasn't it, but rate. Ratey. Ratoon. Ratoon is a word, apparently. Shoot, what is it? Ponoo. Pano. Who? Nan. I don't know what's happening here. I might just hit hint. I'm just gonna hit hint. Fooey and tarnation. All right. What in tarnation? Okie dokie. How'd you do? Hello, today's bonus game is Symbol, and I thought I would take today to actually explain again how the game works, because I have to do that every once in a while. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite Wordle variant. I always start with Blaze. I'm going to type that in, and we'll go over how this works. So it's based on Wordle to an extent. It's a similar concept, but there's some major differences that you have to be aware of. So thinking about it like Wordle only gets you maybe a third of the way there. So first of all, we do have these symbols here, but they're a random symbol with a random color. Every time you play, they're going to be different. And even two people playing the same daily are going to get different symbols. So you can't even have two people work together on it. You have to figure it out yourself. And luckily we got all three symbols. We don't always. One of the symbols I'm going to call gray. One of the symbols I'm going to call yellow. And one of the symbols I'm going to call green after the Wordle colors. But you can't think of it the same way as the Wordle colors, but they're kind of akin to them. So notice that the symbols are not on top of our letters like the colors would be. It's kind of next to it. And there's a reason for that, which is the way that symbol is actually programmed in. And I don't recommend trying to think of it this way. They reversed the answer and the guess. So it's as if the answer to Wordle was Blaze, and we guessed the correct answer to this symbol. And then for this next guess, it's going to say, well, what if the answer was that, and we guessed what the symbol answer is? How would Wordle color it, right? So we're coloring the answer like Wordle, as if this was the answer to Wordle. It's really confusing because I'm using answer in two different contexts. But anyway, so there's the symbol answer and the Wordle answer, right? So the symbol answer, we don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. But it's hidden behind these symbols. And the symbols represent what color Wordle would give those letters if the answer was Blaze. So whichever one is gray, the way that I would recommend thinking about it, gray means that nothing in our guess, including that letter that represents that slot, nothing in our guess goes there. So say the purple plus was our gray. That means B, L, Z, and E, none of them go in the first spot. The next thing would be yellow. So if let's say the green circle was yellow, the way to think about that is the L doesn't go there, but a B, A, Z, or E does go there. So it's different. Like yellow normally in Wordle would say if the L was yellow, the L goes somewhere else. But instead this is saying there's some other letter that got colored yellow, and it's got to be a B, A, Z, or E. because it's intending to go into this spot. So that's how yellow works in simple. And then green is essentially the same. Green means that letter goes there in that slot. And so the important thing is that a letter can't be used in more than one clue. So if, for example, the A is green, we know that the A isn't involved in our yellows. So I'm going to assume what I just said. I'm going to assume that this is green, yellow, and gray. You kind of have to figure out the symbols as you make your guesses. So it's good to just make some assumption. I like to assume the least common one is green, and then for these, I feel like having yellows around the green is nice, but there's really no good reason for it. So I'm going to say we're EA. I'm going to say the E was meant to be here, and then we need to use a B, L, or Z. So I'm going to try the L. So this is what I'm going for here. And I just need to use two new letters otherwise. What would be a word that does that? Like EALT, like delt. We could try delt. All right, so now these symbols are colored as if the answer was dealt, as if the Wordle answer was dealt and we guessed the symbol answer. Now notice that if the teardrop was actually green, we guessed A there again, so this should also be the blue teardrop if teardrop was green. So that means teardrop is not green. This is a really confusing result, by the way. So that means that this is either the gray or the yellow. Now I'm not going to assume gray is the least common thing. The other thing that we can say is that we're pretty sure there's not a Z in the word, just because words don't have Z's in them, generally. Sometimes you get bit by that, but that's why I do blaze. I assume that there's no Z in the word. Therefore, I don't think the green circle is green. So I think that the teardrop is yellow, and the green circle is gray, and then our purple plus is green. I mean, one of these two has to be green. Yes, I think that works out, actually. So we'd start with B. Oh, does it work out? Maybe. I got to think about this for a second. So we're just going to think about purple plus being green. So that would mean we're BE, and then these are greens. So it'd be another E and then L. So not only would this have to be a word, but the clues would have to work that way, and they don't. Do they? Oh, no, the teardrop is the yellow. Sorry. So the greens would be our... no, it can't. Okay, purple can't be the green because I used an E. And if purple was green, this should have been the teardrop yellow color. Okay. So I think that, ooh, do we have but we're assuming we don't have a Z in the word. So then the green circle wouldn't be green. Maybe we did get hit by actually having a Z. I'm trying to think. So let's go over this again. We know teardrop is not green. This is a tough one. We know teardrop's not green because it would be green again here. So that's out. One of these other two has to be green. If the purple plus was green, oh, okay, so actually that is possible. The only reason this didn't end up the yellow symbol, the teardrop, is because I guessed an E in a spot that it's also in. So there's two E's. So we're BE, something LE. And then this middle one has to be the Z. We know it's not the A. We used the B for the green. We used the L. No. Okay, this doesn't work for a different reason, which is we'd used an L in blaze, and so this symbol here should have been a blue teardrop if blue teardrop was yellow. I wonder if delt is an anagram. Could that have happened? The only other option is that the circle is, I mean, certainly circle's not green, right? Because then we'd be DL. And, you know, it can't be. In fact, oh, okay. No, sorry, this is really simple logic. I guessed A in the same spot here both times, and it was two different symbols. So if either of these symbols were green, it would have been the same both times. Okay, so the plus is green. It's BE something LE. I wish I maybe it's beetle with another, no, not beetle. Is bezel spelled this way? Because no, that's not a word. So I'm confused. So then the what's our yellow? Is it the so the green circle is yellow, right? The green circle is yellow because in the first guess, here we wanted an L. No, here we wanted an E, and we guessed an E over here. And here we wanted an L, and we guessed the L over here. Now down here, this is yellow. Wait, but we start with B. I'm thinking about something wrong. Green circle is gray. Green circle is not. No, but green circle should be yellow if it's BE. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I feel like my logic is sound here. I guessed A in that slot both times, and we got the purple teardrop and the green circle. That means that the purple plus is our green. So we're BE something LE. But that doesn't seem to match our clues. Because we know that if this first slot was supposed to be a B, we didn't have a B in the rest of this guess, so these should be grays. But then this is supposed to be an E. Oh, but we used the E for, okay, we used the E to mean green here, so the E would also be able to point here. So that's why it was gray there. And then this slot was supposed to be an L. That should have been yellow. So this L would go there. This L isn't used. Okay, I know what happened. This L got used for the middle. There's two L's. The answer is Bell. Holy moly. Okay. So here's what happened here. In fact, I'm going to open up a Wordle Unlimited. Let me get that prepared. And I'll put it in dark mode so I don't flashbang you. Oh, you know what? I think Wordle itself supports a custom. Yeah, that's fine. Custom Wordle. That's fine. I'll just do a custom Wordle. I don't want Wordle Unlimited. I want custom Wordle. Okay. So I'm going to have to set this up with a few different things, but looks like it's already dark mode, so we're good. So we want the answer, in this case, to be Blaze, right? So if I make the answer Blaze, we can play that game. And we're going to guess Bell, which was the answer to our symbol. So if I guess Bell, we end up with green, gray, yellow, gray, green. And that's exactly what our symbols meant. Green, gray, yellow, gray, green. Okay, now if I make a new custom Wordle, and I make the answer Delt, and then I guess Bell, then we get gray, green, gray, green, gray. And that's exactly what we got here. Gray, green, gray, green, gray. So for this case, because of all the double letters, you really had to lean on you can't use the same letter for two different clues, or you just really got to go back to basics and go, well, this is how to actually think about it, which is playing Wordle in reverse. So really interesting case there. That took a lot of thought. All right, well, how'd you do? Let's spin the wheel. Where is my wheel? Okay. I gotta load up my wheel. Hold on. This is a mess. I know what happened, but I'm gonna make sure it's correct here. So just give me a moment. All right. Our wheel. Here it is. Shuffle it and give it a good spin. We have Coastal Ocean's suggestion of Bracket City. So we're going back to Bracket City tomorrow. I think a lot of people enjoyed it this last time, so hopefully you'll enjoy playing that again. So if you're playing along, then play Bracket City. A thing to understand about Bracket City is that it is not based on your own time zone. It's based on when the paper time zone switches over or something. I don't know which one I'll end up playing, depending on what time of day I play it. So you may want to play a few days in a row, or it doesn't really matter. Anyway, Bracket City tomorrow. And how'd you do on all this? And that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. There is a link at the end of the video if you would like to watch my Wordle solve. I also have a pinned comment with all of the games I played today, and if you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.